Welcome to the VR Workforce Studio podcast. We are podcasting the sparks that ignite vocational rehabilitation, where disability employment success stories are told and the voices of vocational rehabilitation shine through. I'm Rick Sizemore.
And I'm Betsy Civilette, and today we're thrilled to welcome back one of the nation's most respected VR training programs, the University of Wisconsin Stout, and a very special guest, Beth Gaertner. Welcome, Beth.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Beth serves as the project director for StaffUP ASAP, Stout Vocational Rehabilitation Institute's new grant awarded through RSA's most recent round of disability innovation funds. It plays a key leadership role in building the next generation of VR professionals. She's been instrumental in helping Stout expand its national presence, grow its graduate network, and now secure an exciting new federal grant. Again, welcome to the podcast, Beth.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Well, Beth.
Yeah, we're excited to have you.
Yeah. Well, first off, congratulations on this tremendous achievement. This new grant is a big win for Stout and SVRI, and we know it's a result of a lot of hard work and vision. What does this moment mean to you and your team?
Honestly, we're just incredibly excited. When you finally land a big grant project like this, it's just this intense feeling of both relief and panic, like, oh boy, now we got to get to work. So yeah, a lot of feelings. I'm very excited. We've been working towards a project like this for many years now, and it wouldn't be without our partnership with UW-Madison, ERI, and CSA VR that we would have been able to make this happen. So I just want to shout out our partners on this project. They have been a wonderful team to work with, and our internal team is so excited. Now that we've really had time to dig into it and get to work, we're really happy with how things are going, and we're so excited to start sharing it with the whole country and with everybody in Voc Rehab.
That excitement is palpable. I feel it coming through the computer screen as we talk with you and your team. What though does it mean for the Institute and for the field of vocational rehabilitation to receive this kind of support at such a critical time?
Yeah, I think so. A lot of my previous experience, I've worked a lot on other national projects, a lot of times in a training, technical assistance, continuing ed type of way. And we just have seen over and over again that there are a lot of gaps. State agencies, they're asked to do so many things, and recruitment and retention have been a big struggle lately. So we really feel like this project can help alleviate some of that burden and stress for state agencies. So we're not hoping to replace anything. We're hoping to help fill in gaps, bolster agencies, meet them where they're at. So, it's really wonderful that we're having support at the federal level for this, that we were awarded this project, that we have support from, our partners and really across the country. All of this began, our first kind of work on this project was a needs assessment, and we reached out to all the state agencies, and we had tremendous response from both general agencies, blind agencies combined, across the country, some of the territories as well. And, they all weighed in on what they wanted more of in terms of content, training, development for their staff, and, what they felt like they could use a little extra assistance in, and not only what was important for their staff, but what they felt would be really important for their vendors and their community resource providers in their area. So, we've really been checking in a lot with them as well, on a broader agency level across the country to see, what do you need? Because we want to meet your needs.
Exactly.
So I really feel like we're keeping a close pulse on what's going on with them, and hopefully, really helping to serve a lot of different needs across the country.
I love it. You said that you're filling in the gaps because, as we know, the workforce is changing and the demand for qualified VR professionals is growing. So how is this funding helping you build capacity to meet those emerging needs?
Yeah. So, traditionally we had this pipeline where, folks went into a bachelor's program and then a master's program, and they came out with this master's in rehabilitation counseling, and they went in had a job at a state agency and moved forward. And that worked really well for a really long time. But as we all know, things have shifted. So now we're pulling in people from different fields that have different backgrounds. They may be coming to us from, social work, maybe even nursing, or, kind of all over the place, which is both wonderful because you get different perspectives, new ways of looking at things, but also they're not coming with the same background we all used to have when we came out with our CRC and our degree in rehab counseling. So helping to get those folks who might be coming from, a different educational background, a different employment history, a different field, getting them kind of a immersive experience into what is Voc Rehab? What are we all about? What makes us unique and special as a field? And hitting them with some of those pieces that they may have missed just because they're coming from a different area of expertise. So we want to welcome them into the field, and we want those diverse experiences because I do think that's genuinely helpful. But we also want to help get those people up to speed on who we are and what's important about Voc Rehab. And fill in some of those gaps for folks. So I do think there's a big need there, and it's great to be able to have this kind of holistic approach.
Yeah. Speaking from, boots on the ground and the walk that I have every day, I run into a lot of vocational rehabilitation counselors. Many of them listen to this podcast, and I can tell you they're coming from education, they're coming from social work, and the profile of those offices is dramatically different. The backgrounds, the fabric of that office is changing. And as you say, they come from a rich and diverse array of professional arenas, which is great. But this grant at this time is spectacular to help all of those people integrate into VR. So again, we're so excited. For many who may not be familiar, or I should say for those who may not be familiar with SVRI, give us a quick overview of what makes your training program unique, and how do you keep the curriculum aligned with real world VR practice, given that you've got this new opportunity?
So I think, as I mentioned at the very beginning, we started with that needs assessment, reaching out directly to the state agencies. And, we're not just creating content that we feel is important or that we think might be helpful. Of course, there's an element of that as well, but we're also asking the states, what do you need? What will work best for your staff, for your region, for your agency? So I think that's really where it starts, is having that open line of communication with the different state agencies. And then we don't want this to be a stagnant training. We have two wonderful staff who will kind of be the faces for learners and participants going through the program, who are there to see what the needs of the individual students are. And we're going to continue to tweak and adapt content and materials as we go along for the duration of the project. So we're not going to create something, put it out there, and then we're done and we're stepping away. We are going to continue to improve and ask for feedback, ask people to weigh in about what's working, what's not working. So I think being responsive to what leadership is saying, and then also being responsive to what folks who are boots on the ground actually doing the day-to-day counseling work, what they're saying they need. And we also, I would be remiss if I forgot to mention that we want to give people the opportunity to grow within their professional careers and grow within their agencies too. So I think that will be helpful to keep in mind as we go throughout this process. So yeah, it's using our expertise, but also being responsive to what folks are saying they need and what they want.
This is an exciting opportunity for everyone with these new folks coming in. We've had the pleasure of partnering with UW Stout. In the past, we did a podcast for your library on how to podcast disability issues. And we know how committed you are to connecting with the national VR community. How do you see this grant helping strengthen the partnerships with agencies, well, like our own DARS or other state VR programs?
Yeah, I think we really are approaching this project from a national standpoint. We don't, even though we are based in Wisconsin and we have wonderful partners in the state of Wisconsin, we don't want to only be responsive to the needs of our state or our region. We are really looking at this from a national perspective, which can be an interesting challenge, trying to create something that is applicable on a really broad scale. But I do think even though each state and each agency is unique, they have different challenges, they have different strengths. There are a lot of commonalities as well. We do share a lot of common tissue across states and across regions. So I think it's really reaching out across the country, and we are also hoping to keep this national in focus by having an advisory council that has representatives from across the country. Right now, that group is about 15 folks, and we have people from general agencies, blind agencies combined. And then we've tried to grab at least one person from each region of the country as well, and from different size agencies too. So, the needs of Delaware are going to be different than the needs of Texas just because of their location and the size of their state. So we're really looking to get perspectives from that advisory council to help keep us on track as we go through as well. So it started with a needs assessment, and then we'll continue through conversations with participants and that advisory council that'll really help keep us aligned with what the needs are nationally and how we can really be responsive on that broader scale.
Awesome.
And it also gives you some checks and balances having that committee.
Yep.
It seems like you're not just educating, but you're shaping the next generation of VR leaders. So what's one message you hope your students carry with them into the field?
I think the thing that resonates most with, and this is me personally, but I don't think my colleagues would disagree with this statement, is really that vocational rehabilitation, even though we have this strong history and identity as a profession, this work really is something that we love welcoming other perspectives and other people into. I think with a little bit of training and assistance, everybody can get to a place where they're providing quality services, and they are really that go-to place for our participants who are, seeking assistance. So I really think, just kind of a passion for the field, for helping individuals with disabilities, advocating for them, helping them through this system, which can be kind of complicated sometimes. I think just really a passion for the work and a passion for, working with this population is the most important factor. And I hope that carries through the training, and that we really want this to be an open door, regardless of what your background or educational experience might be. That really what we want to harness is that passion and cultivate that. I think that's kind of my biggest message. And if you had to ask the rest of the team their number one takeaway, theirs might be different, but I don't think they'd disagree with that statement.
Yeah.
Certainly. Yeah, passion's
Betsy, let
huge.
me ask a quick question here before you get into your next one that we have planned. But who's the ideal student or candidate that you hope will respond and reach out and get involved with this?
We talk about this a lot. So that's a great question, Rick, because this is a conversation we have regularly. I think there are a couple ideal students. One of them is, like we've talked about, somebody who is now working in voc rehab, and they come from a different field. So they have a different background and maybe just need a little bit of extra training in a few different areas. So somebody who's coming from a different field, that's definitely one group. Another one is somebody, we all know that in state agencies, we have staff who have been there for a very long time. They're the backbone of the agency, but they might not be in those counseling roles. Perhaps they're in a support role, and they need a career path and a way to advance as well. So we also want those folks to see opportunity in this and a way to advance and use this as a stepping stone, and if they want to go on to get their master's degree, that's wonderful. Like, we would love to support them in that journey and help them progress in their career. So I think those are really the two big groups. But then also we've been talking a lot about how we see this program as a way that counselors could refer folks on their caseload who might be interested in getting into the field. So individuals with disabilities, like, are they interested in becoming voc rehab counselors? Are they interested in getting into the field? Like, this might be a great way for them to dip their toe and kind of explore and start that journey as well. So I think that's a group too that we really want to highlight and make sure everything is available for them as well, and let counselors know that that's an option too.
So before we wrap up, we wanted to introduce you to two of the outstanding trainers who help bring the StaffUP ASAP program at SVRI to life.
This is Eric Roux and Betsy.
Well, Eric is a vocational rehabilitation instructor and program support specialist, known for his hands-on mentoring and commitment to student success across both academic and career paths. So, Eric, give us your perspective on this important new grant.
Great. Thank you, Betsy. Well, what I would say is this is a really exciting opportunity for us to develop a program that can reach across the whole country to provide an avenue to coming into the profession for a huge number of people who might not otherwise be not only unaware of what voc rehab offers, but also be able to access it in a way that they never could before. That's both people in the community who might be interested in learning about or becoming VR professionals from the outside, from different communities who are often underserved, to a lot of people who work inside the VR world but don't see a career path to moving forward to getting into graduate school and even entering college for the first time. This opens those doors, and hopefully that really does a lot to strengthen the profession. And this grant is going to make that possible.
Well, Eric, good luck to you and the team. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And we're joined by another of the team members from SVRI's new initiative, Shana Remund, a vocational rehabilitation instructor who brings real-world insight and passion into helping students connect theory with practice in meaningful ways. Shana, what are you most excited about as you take on these new challenges?
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited for, I came from being the training person in South Dakota Public VR. And so I got to work with a lot of trainers across the country in public VR programs. And a lot of them, were looking for a resource like what this training is going to be. We talked a lot about staff shortages and people just not applying that had the background in rehab counseling. And so I'm really excited to be making a product that's going to be really comprehensive of all the most important thing that VR counselors and VR professionals really need to know, and doing it in a way that is condensed down enough that people can fit it into their very busy schedules where they maybe don't have a ton of time to dedicate to training throughout their week, but they can do it at their own pace and where it fits into their schedule. And it's really just getting to that most important information that they need to know to be working with their clients.
Right. Shana Remund, thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
Well, thanks again to the team from the University of Wisconsin Stout for joining us today. We're excited to see how this new grant will take your work to the next level. If you'd like to know more about Stout and the opportunities available through this new grant, you can learn more by checking the show notes at vrworkforcestudio.com, episode 134, or visit us on YouTube at VR Workforce Studio.
Congratulations again on your continued growth and national leadership. We'll be cheering you on and watching for the incredible VR professionals that you continue to bring into the workforce. Thank you, Beth.
Wonderful. Thank you both. And our website is now up and live. So staffupasap.org if you want to check it out.
Thank you.